Hello family, hope you are all doing well. Today we're going to be talking about how to barter. It's a fun and light subject, old school trading and all, but it's also super serious because we need to start thinking about how to independently exchange goods and services with one another so we don't die. And so we can get super important things in the future during hard times like sharp cheddar cheese and chocolate. First off, what exactly is bartering? Bartering is the exchange of goods or services without the use of traditional currency. And by traditional currency, I mean cash, checks, credit cards, and apps like Venmo that link to traditional currencies. Say you have a loaf of bread I want to buy, and I have some homegrown tomatoes. Instead of buying the loaf of bread with cash from you, I offer you my homegrown tomatoes, and we exchange the goods. There are many ways to barter, and it doesn't have to be with just items, so we'll cover that more in just a bit. Let's start by knowing our why. Why are we needing to learn how to barter? Because if we don't know our motivation for doing something out of the ordinary, then we're not going to do it. The main why is that a digital currency is coming, whether we want it or not, and it will be the nail in the coffin of our privacy and independence from government. If you're not sure how the digital currency will work, here's a quick explanation. A digital currency controlled by the United States government, often referred to as a central bank digital currency or CBDC, is a form of digital money issued and regulated by the government's central bank, the Federal Reserve. CBDCs are designed to serve as a digital representation of a country's fiat currency, such as the US dollar, and operate within a centralized framework controlled by our government. The digital currency would exist in electronic form, typically represented by tokens or digital units similar to cryptocurrencies. These tokens could be stored in digital wallets accessible through devices like your smartphone or computers. In the future, this information could come in the form of implanted microchips or be attached to your retinal scan, palm, or fingerprints. The Federal Reserve would have centralized control over the issuance, distribution, and regulation of the digital currency. It will be integrated with existing financial infrastructure such as payment systems like PayPal or the government's FedNow system that was released this month. Also with banks in every other place of business or commerce, both public and private. So why specifically will it kill our privacy? Take the threat of the government creating a gun registry so they can confiscate our firearms. Once we have the digital currency, they won't need a registry for any new firearms purchases because the currency will do the work for them. Each sale and each purchase will now be in the system. So although the government will say, "We promise to respect your privacy," they will have a record of every transaction we make. Another example is if you pay the neighborhood kid to mow your lawn. Whoever is in charge of that digital currency will know about it. Think of that in terms of taxes and the government's ability to have a hand in everything you do. I'd say our government is slightly less trustworthy than Jesus, so having them control all commerce, public and private, will probably lead to them using it against you, especially when they attach it to a social credit system, much like China has now. If you don't comply with the government's wishes, well then your ability to participate in normal buying and selling can be shut off. The Bible said this would be coming, so you should really read your Bible more. And no, the mark of the beast is not here yet. I don't know why I'm whispering. Quick side note, why do you think all these businesses are willing to risk their profits and their customer bases now in order to support gross social causes like BLM and Pride? They know that a social credit system is coming and that the government will reward them in the future for doing this. They care more about their social credit score now instead of their profits because they know the government will reward them then when our social credit scores rule. Whomever controls the digital currency can also reward people by depositing currency into their accounts for doing things such as getting their 8th jabby or reporting you for non-compliance. If you eat too much meat, not enough crickets, or you misgender someone, you can be directly financially penalized through your account with the digital currency. It is the ultimate tool of control, and it is coming soon. 2 things to note. Number 1, unless you can live totally off-grid in some remote area where you're never going to need something from society again, you will have to be in the digital currency system in some shape or form. The question is, how much do you want to use it? Personally, for me, not very much. But I'm not ignorant to the fact that they will require payments for things such as medical bills, driver's license renewals, and property taxes in the digital currency. So before I go full on Mad Max, yeah, that's me, I know I'm going to have to be in the system for some things. 2, they will most likely penalize businesses and people that do not want to opt into using the digital currency. Do not think that they're going to make it easy for you to opt out. Conducting business will be more expensive and difficult, so be prepared to pay more and work harder if you don't want to be a part of it. They coax society into their control by using comfort, security, and free stuff, and they will be doing the same with their digital currency. Now, there are a few options that people plan on using to avoid having to use the digital currency, so let's go through each of those and talk about the pros and cons of each. First is the use of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. The pros to using them for commerce are that they can be private for the most part. 2 is decentralization. No central entity controls them because of the use of blockchain technology. 3, they can be used by anyone with an internet connection and some sort of computer or smartphone. And finally, transactions can usually be done very quickly. The cons to using cryptocurrencies get more pronounced as times get tougher and government control grows, which is most likely the scenario that we're facing. Consider what will happen if the internet doesn't work. There will be no crypto transactions. What if your internet provider requires payment in the digital currency and a good social credit score and you don't have it? What happens if the powers over the digital currency make laws forbidding the use of cryptocurrency or punish people who do use it through taxes? Crypto can also be confusing for a large part of the population, and it's not widely accepted by businesses. So even if we can use it in the future, most likely it's going to be tough finding a business using it that is willing to risk punishment or fees attached to using it, so that makes everything more difficult. Now let's consider using cash. You may figure, I'll just use cash until I can't, and while right now that's a good strategy, more and more retailers, big and small, are phasing out cash, whether it be because they want to prevent theft or because your dirty, grubby little germy freedom fingers are all over that paper money. You may have seen palm readers already being set up in places like Whole Foods, or this type of cashierless system in England where customers download an app, are followed by surveillance cameras throughout the store and scanned as they leave to pay for their groceries. While using cash can be private right now, stores like this are moving towards more automated payment systems and entry points where a scan and use of their app will be required to purchase anything, even in cash. Still don't believe me? Here's another sample of how retinal scans will work for payment. It will be sold to you as a system that gives you more coupons or makes things much easier for you. Think about your favorite store's rewards cards, apps, and point systems that give you discounts. It's all to track what you buy and how much, and soon it will be also to control what you buy and if you can buy at all. Please also consider the mess that's happening in areas like San Francisco, California, where stores are being looted and destroyed without consequence. That's happening because laws were passed that allow for someone to steal goods under $950 without serious repercussions under the law if caught. Do you think that this insanity was random? No, it's designed to coerce businesses to adopt measures like scanning their customers' retinas or palms for entry so they can avoid messes like this. Everything is by design. Here's a picture of one store's merchandise setup in San Francisco. Everything is locked up. Everything. If laws and behaviors don't make sense, it's most likely because they are priming society to adapt a solution that under normal circumstances they would never accept. Let's now talk about bartering. Why is it the top choice? Because it's a private deal between you and another person, and if done outside the use of technology, then nobody's going to know about it. And guess what? It ain't none of that business anyway. A few things to consider are that bartering to remain private most likely needs to be done locally, and 2, you may not be able to get everything you want, but you should be able to get everything you need given the right network. We've discussed this before, but living in the pre-apocalypse or the actual apocalypse means that we will not be fully comfortable, to say the least. So if Egyptian cotton sheets or down pillows are the only thing that are going to make you happy, well, buy them now. So how... Hello? Yes? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Okay, I'll let him know. Over. I just got some news. One big thing to be aware of, my favorite government entity, the IRS, treats bartering as a form of income, and you are required to report the fair market value of goods and services received through bartering as taxable income on your federal income tax return. That seems strange to me because no income is technically being made, and it would be tough to tax an heirloom tomato, but it looks like the government found a way. But I'm just going to make you aware of that so you and your accountant can proceed in the way that you choose fit, which is always to obey the law. All right, moving on. Now, there are a few ways to barter. The first is person-to-person or person-to-business bartering, and that's what I described earlier, but here's another example. My husband and I need 3 whole organic chickens. Sam raises chickens and sells them at my local farmer's market, so I talked to Sam, and he's open to bartering and wants to know what we have to offer. We make a list of things or skills we can barter with and present it to Sam. He needs some herbal tinctures that we make, so we figure out a fair amount of tinctures that would equal the amount of 3 chickens, and we do the trade. Everyone leaves happy, our transaction is private, and now we have a barter contact for the future. We may leave our barter list with Sam and our contact info, or not. It depends on how much we trust him and if he trusts us. That is one reason we want to start bartering now. Developing trusted relationships takes time. So what happens if Sam doesn't need anything we have to barter with? We can see if there's someone who does have what he needs and have a multi-person trade. It turns out Sam likes sourdough bread, and the lady that sells bread at the same farmer's market likes herbal tinctures. I talk to her and give her enough tinctures to cover the amount of bread it would take to buy 3 whole organic chickens, and we all do the exchange. Bartering can be whatever you and the other party or parties want it to be. There is also business-to-business bartering, which works the same way, or there are different types of things you can barter, not just items. So let's talk about a sample barter list that I made to help you make yours. Not only can I trade things or items like eggs for my chickens, silver, books, extra holsters I don't need, good Patriot t-shirts, and other items, but I can also barter with my skills and time. Skills I could barter with would be my ability to design logos and graphics, or I can teach women how to shoot pistols. I would say that I could teach them how to garden, but you guys know that I stink at that. But I could analyze someone's social media channel for their small business and give them advice. You can barter skills, anything that you have expertise in, experience in, or that you're just good at. You can also barter your time. Does someone have a cat they need you to take care of while they go on vacation, or do you have a truck and you can help someone move? For the record, I'm not available to do that last one. Sorry. I'm very giving, usually, but just when it comes to truck and moving, no. Other examples would include helping someone organize their garage or their closets, or tutoring their kid in math. You can barter your time and help for time back from them, or their skills, or some item from them. The type of barter combinations are only limited to your creativity. Think outside the box and think outside the use of Venmo, cash, and credit cards. Then make a list of your skills, your items, and your time, and go to town. So how do we find people to barter with? Like I mentioned, places that have people that are more willing to barter are farmers markets, small local businesses, and friends and family. You can try, but most likely the manager of Hobby Lobby is not going to trade that live, laugh, love sign for your homegrown peaches. If you do approach a business and want to barter, make sure you talk to the owner or person that can make those decisions with you and not a regular employee. A quick thought. It can be tempting to barter with people that normally you would, out of the goodness of your heart, do things for them for free, like your friends and family. So just be careful not to start bartering or requiring payment from your friends and family or other people that you would normally help for free just to barter or get something out of it. Like, for example, normally I would just post this video on YouTube or Instagram or whatever channel you're watching it on out of the goodness of my heart, because I just want to help you live through the apocalypse. But I want you to grasp this bartering concept so badly that I need you to send me chocolate or silver in the mail in exchange for this invaluable information. You can find my address on my website, and thank you very much. Another great way to do these trades and find fellow barterers is to have a barter fair. For example, you pick a location and invite people to come, you set up some tables, and you ask people to bring their list of items and or skills or time available, and then you just network with each other. It's almost like a mini garage sale or flea market, except you're bartering skills, time, and items instead of using traditional cash and currency and just buying things. People will walk around and just see what other people have and do deals amongst themselves, or you can have more formal parameters if you want to set up a more formal barter group, which we'll talk about in a second. Groups that may be interested in having a barter fair are your local churches, your kiddo's school, political clubs, prepping groups, your street or neighborhood, friend groups, book clubs, any type of like-minded group that wants to do a little private barter and trade. You can also do a theme barter fair where all the items fall into a certain category, such as a book barter fair, seed, plant, and garden barter fair, a prepping fair, Food bartering, crafts, tools, furniture, clothing, whatever you want it to be. If you want to set up an official barter group or use a barter app that has rules and protocols, that is definitely an option. The pros to doing that are you will have more access to more people that want to barter and you will have more accountability with your trades. I say that because say you trade a large expensive piece of furniture for 3 professional guitar lessons and you get one lesson and then the guy teaching you guitar lessons suddenly ghosts you and you don't get your other 2 lessons. If you belong to a barter group or a barter app, you can report him to the group or rate him in the app as someone you want to be friends with the Clintons who mysteriously disappears after a while. So be careful when trading things of higher value. I would recommend getting references from the person or perhaps getting some sort of deposit until the trade is finished. Some definite downsides to using a barter app is that 1, privacy can't really be counted on, and 2, if the internet goes down for some reason, well, there is no barter app. But I think using a barter app right now is a good idea because it enables you the ability to practice bartering and also meet like-minded people that may be in your area for your possible barter group when things get even worse. And again, establishing those relationships right now is very important. A few barter apps or platforms you can check out are Craigslist, FreeCycle, Listia, which uses a point system instead of currency. There's BarterQuest, local barter groups on Facebook or GroupMe, TradeMade, Rehash, which is for clothing trades, BookMooch or Paperback Swap, which is for books, Shared Earth is a garden space and food trade site, and then there's BizX for business-to-business trading. There are a ton of more options to practice your bartering skills on. I have not used most of these apps or websites for bartering, but I will say that I belong to a GroupMe group locally here where we've done some stuff that ain't none of your business, and it's worked out quite well. Alright guys, I think I'm going to end that here just because we are kind of packing in a lot of information there. I do want to let you know that in the next week or so I'm going to be making a 60-second quick little short on the top 11 barter items that you may want to be stocking up on now to barter with in the future. And I did some research on past wars and economic depressions and famines and everything and what was really needed during those times. So I'm going to be sharing those top 11 items very soon. Also, if you have bartered already or have used these apps and everything, we would love to hear about your experiences or your recommendations in the comments below. And as always, if you want to support my channel, besides sending me silver and chocolate in the mail for exchange for this invaluable information, you can buy a t-shirt on my website. Please like and share and subscribe and blah, 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 and all the things that all the YouTube people say all the time. All right, guys, develop these skills, but focus on the kingdom. Be good, barter hard. I'm Katie from Good Patriot, and I will see you all again soon.